If you're flying more than one avionics platform, you know it can be really challenging, and sometimes that extra button push can be critically important. Let's take a look.
November 396 Delta Mike, maintain flight level 280. You have traffic crossing at 290.
6 Delta Mike, we're looking for the traffic in 280 on the altitude. Oh, great. All right, lost the screen. Well, okay, we're climbing to 28. Here we go, and go back here, look at the standby. We need to get that back. Autopilot. We've got the autopilot on, right?
396 Delta Mike, that traffic is now closing. Main level at flight level 280.
6 Delta Mike. Okay, we've gone through the
autopilot.
Gone through the altitude. Let's say again the altitude for 6 Delta Mike.
69 Delta Mike, begin immediate descent to flight level 280.
2806 Delta Mike, and we're looking for the traffic. Okay, all right. I'll handle the airplane. 28.
That was uncomfortable to watch and clearly dangerous had traffic really been 1,000 feet above David's assigned altitude. Let's look at some steps we can take to identify and fix potential avionics malfunctions in our different avionics platforms our members fly. Let's see what these failures look like on an NXI flight deck. First, let's see what an AHRS failure looks like. You'll notice we had a very quick black screen with some X's, but the NXI will automatically switch to the functioning AHRS if it has one left. Hence this message both on AHRS 2. If the system does not revert automatically, we can select PFD options, sensors, AHRS, and we can manually switch our AHRS. In this case, with AHRS 1 failed, we have no attitude or heading information, so we would just leave it on AHRS 2, which the system automatically switched to. It's important that we always comply with the emergency abnormal procedures, and for a failed attitude or heading, the checklist will direct us once we have both on AHRS 2 or 1 as appropriate selected. We want to couple our flight director to the functional side. So with AHRS 2 functioning, I need to press the transfer button, see my indicator point to the right side, and then reselect my desired flight director and autopilot modes. Let's look at how an air data computer or ADC failure would present. Similarly, we'll have a very short display of X's, but the system will very quickly revert to the functional ADC. So in this case, with a failure of ADC 1, our left PFD is going to automatically switch over to ADC 2. And just as we discussed with the AHRS, we can always go into our sensor option, ADC, and we could manually select the functioning ADC if the system didn't automatically revert. But of course, switching to ADC 1 is going to show us all of the information impacted by that failure. Loss of air data computer means we will lose our indicated airspeed, we're going to lose our altimeter, and we're going to lose our vertical speed. Finally, let's look at a failure of PFD1. Our checklist is going to direct us to press our display backup button. This will display our flight and ICAS information on the MFD. We hear our autopilot disconnect tone. We can cancel that with the autopilot disconnect button. We'll need to transfer our flight director to the operating PFD. We see that the arrow has moved to the right. Once that's done, we need to reselect our desired lateral and vertical modes since we ended up in roll and pitch. And then we'll need to switch our transponder as necessary to the functioning transponder if one failed. Finally, depending on how our failure presented, we may have lost corresponding nav and comm radios for number 1, so we would have to switch our frequencies to the number 2 radios.